Today's day 2, connecting with my Galactic family. I did a reading and then I did a session, so it was only 30 minutes I spent here. I think next time I do want to spend a little bit of time getting a little deeper so I can connect a little bit more better. But I saw this right here, 2 giant alien beings. They were in white robes, and I felt like that's me right there. That felt like a little baby, not even my adult self. I felt like a little baby right there. One of them had really long black hair, straight black hair like me. The other one I felt like was more brunette or blonde. I kept getting an image of the two, but more wavy texture to the hair. Their eyes looked almondy. I couldn't tell if it was just black, straight up black, or if it had pupils. But for the most part, I saw this from the back. And so they and we're holding my hand. We're walking through. This is those two are like giant doors, and that the light was coming through in the center, and we're walking towards the door. So then I asked them, okay, thank you for showing me this and who you are. So now what happens when we walk through the door? We walk through the door, and I see this. So we're up there where you can see the cliff opening in the mountain. So that's us standing up there, and then there's a waterfall right next to us, and then body of water down below, and then it's all nature, but it was enclosed kind of in that kind of shape you see my picture there. And so there's trees, there's bushes, there were animals, there were orbs. I saw like white orbs kind of flying around as well. And I said, oh, is this where we live? And they're like, no, it felt more of the energy of we're just visiting. And so the message that I got was they come here to lay and connect with the nature. So the trees, the plants, the animals, they communicate telepathically. And so they come here when they want to recharge and reconnect and to remember a little bit more, be more with nature and in tune. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, oh, I see something out in the distance, which on the corner over there, you see, those are like, they look like test tubes and then like spheres, but not symmetrical. It's like it looks actually like I've drawn it. It's weird. It wasn't like a circle, like a disc or anything. It was oddly shaped. And so I was like, oh, what's that in the distance? And they're like, that's the city. And I was like, oh, can I see the city? And so we went to the city. And so I don't have too much to share about the city, but it basically just looked like a bunch of those domes up, and they lived in there. And then you see that little green, it says green park, that little rectangle. Parts of in between those tall, like it's tall, really high up domes. There are some greenery in parts of the city in the dome, kind of like in New York. But basically, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, what's cool about, like, where's the coolest place in this area that you can show me? So they took me to like this little bar type area where they get drinks, but it's not like alcohol, but it does help like relax them, helps them in have a good time. And in this place that they showed me, they were like shape shifting. They were like trying on different hair, different glasses, different body parts. I wouldn't necessarily say like human body parts, but like they were just trying different shapes. Like if the arm was bigger or skinnier or longer or shorter, the glasses were changed or the eyes were changed, the hair would change, kind of like you're building a character in a video game and you get to like try out all these things. That's what it felt like in that place. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. So what else do you guys want me to know about this place or to take away from what you're showing? What's important for me to know? And then they brought me down below the top of the city. Oh yeah, and also in that place, the first thing they showed me was rays. Um, the word that came to my mind was electrocuted, but I think it's supposed to be like recharged, because when it hits them, like they get so energized and so they just like explode with like energy. And so they go up there, they reach the sun. I don't think there's a sun. So I don't know. I just know if there's light that comes in, energy. I called it energy because a sun wasn't presented to me. So it wasn't like sun rays energizing them. There was a light from above. I don't know where it was from, energizing them. And so then after that, I saw them enjoying the drink and trying on different shape shifting basically. And then they went down below, and I was like, okay, I see some like black goo, and it was kind of like shiny, like glitter too. It was kind of moving around. I would akin it to like venom beings. That's kind of what it felt like down there. But they weren't bad or anything. It was just that these beings needed to be up here, up high, and that's why all their places are up there. It did feel kind of like classism, like, you know, the higher beings are up there and the lower beings are down there, but really the lower beings don't need as much light, and that's why they're down below, and they're okay with that. The problem is that when they build too many of these structures, they don't get enough light down there. They still need some. They don't need a lot, but they still need some. And so when they build too many of these structures, they don't get enough light down there, and then that's not fair for them. And then, you know, sometimes these beings will think, you know, well, that's whatever, we don't care. But honestly, it balances, because they're saying that no, they have to coexist, and so there needs to be a balance. So when there's too many of this, they have to do something to balance it so that they still get their stuff down there. And then down there, when they overpopulate, they have to, you know, come to terms together, both societies, to coexist on what they need to do to rebalance that. And for the most part, they are really good at that. Sometimes the bottom goes up, and sometimes the top goes too far up. And so what I felt was they always found a way to rebalance. They always, somewhere it always gets off balance, but eventually they get to rebalance again. And so I was like, oh, that's cool. So what is the main takeaway that you guys want me to understand? And they're saying, like, you need to bring that into your life. Like, there is always going to be something that you need to balance. It's going to go up and down, and it's up to you to figure out how to coexist with that balance to make it even and fair, and however, to have the two things that you're working through. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense, because they're saying there's always going to be things, they're always gonna, one's gonna overpower the other, and then you just have to bring it back to balance. And then like this, like it's constantly like this. And so what you need to come to terms with is that that's just the way it is, and so then you get comfortable with navigating those situations when you need to bring it back together. So I thought that was really cool. So then I just concluded the session. I say thank you for showing me this little bit, and I asked just anything else you want me to know. And they're just like showed me a bunch of clips from all my past lives, dreams, of like stuff that I've seen and experienced. And they're just saying there's a lot of information, and we're just going to show you bit by bit, and we'll piece it all together at the end a little bit. But that they're really happy that we're connecting and showing information. And before I start the session, I always set intention. I'm like, help me release what no longer serves me and it's not for my highest good, and then to help download, activate, or gift to me the things that I'm ready to see and use and utilize and grow, skill set and DNA activations, all of that good stuff. So that concludes day 2. I'm glad I was able to. This weekend I'm busy, so I'm sad. I don't know if I'm gonna get to tomorrow. Definitely not gonna get to it on Friday, and then hopefully I'll get back on Saturday and Sunday. But I have a trip on Thursday and Friday. So